What's going on? Thank you for coming to the podcast.
Thank you for
First timer. We've been on a good streak of first time people lately. Nice. You nervous right now?
A little bit.
It's just fine. Why don't you tell people who you are and what you do?
Okay, so I'm Tiffany Verduzco, and I have a real estate team with Coldwell Banker.
Nice.
Verduzco and Associates, and I have about 2 other teams as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I have a life insurance team and I have a loan signing team.
Oh, cool. So how many agents do you currently have on your team at Coldwell Banker?
Right now I have 1.
1.
Yeah, but I have 13 people that are in 18 people.
Oh.
So I have 5 that just finished up my course because I used to teach. That's what I used to do before I started in real estate. And so I have 5 that are already in the pipeline to passing their exams. 2 of them have passed so far, so I have scheduled meetings with them, 2 of the 5. And then the second group is 13 people, so we're all kind of together in the pre-licensing phases, and they should be submitting apps like late May.
Yeah.
So we'll see kind of, it's a big amount of people, but we'll see who actually
goes forward.
Forward.
What made you get into getting people to pass their tests in real estate? Obviously it's like a weird niche to get into that a lot of people don't think about. I love if I made money off of everyone who ever asked me to be a real estate agent, I'd be a millionaire by now. So what made you get into that kind of like niche in the market?
That's actually a really good question. So I was about 9 years in banking, and then I decided to depart from that career 2018. And I went in because I was originally going to start an insurance agency, nothing to do with real estate. And I went in because I had just gotten one of my licenses for my insurance brokers. And I attended this how to start an insurance agency. And then I met the CEO. We were talking after, and it was just like, I was still kind of trying to figure it out. I wasn't really 100% sure what direction I was going to head after banking. And then he's like, you should come teach real estate for me. And I was like, well, why would I do that? I don't, I'm not experienced in the field. He's like, no, I'll teach you. I have a teacher retiring. They're moving up to Washington, and I think you'd be really good at this while you figure it out. And I was like, okay. So then I went to the class, I attended and I learned everything from that instructor. He was really good. And he made things like much simpler for people to identify. And I was like, oh yeah, I could do this. And then I just started doing that, did that for about 1.5 years.
I think the most frustrating thing about the real estate test is that it literally has nothing to do with real estate. And so I think that's like the downfall, is that we teach all these people to get their real estate license and then they get into real estate and it has nothing to do with actually being successful in real estate. I don't know why they have not changed that. No one cares what the land is called that was part of someone's land, but then the river washed it away and now it landed on someone else's land. And what does that mean? Like that has nothing to do about being a real estate agent. Yeah,
that's actually a really good point to make. So one of the biggest kind of obstacles that I have even now explaining to people is because they just don't believe you. I always tell them there's 3 different worlds in real estate. So there's the test world, which is the exam that has nothing to do with the real world, and it's been dated for 10 years.
It's never changed.
It's never changed. And then there's also the book world, which is completely different to the test world. So the 3 classes they have to take to qualify, I'm like, that is actually not on the test.
Exactly.
And then there's the real world, which is a whole nother beast.
I know.
And people look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, I'm being serious.
We're actually in process of working on a coaching program right now for agents, because it is crazy how many agents, that's the second demon. The first demon is, I want to get into real estate. And the second demon is, hey, I got my real estate license. How do I get business? And it's sad, but I'm at a point now in my career where I'm like, dude, I just don't have time to answer because it's not just one. Just do A, B, and C, and you'll make a lot of money and you'll be successful and and I laugh because then it's like, well, I always go well, we'll just go ask who you work for. They're like, oh, well, they're not really. Then why do you work for them? Oh, well, that's my next answer. Yeah. So no one believes you. That's why people are like, when are you going to get your broker's license? I'm like, I started the schooling and I'm like, this is a lot of work and has nothing to do with real estate.
No. I just did mine, so I'll be getting my brokers in June. I just clicked through the whole thing, and then I referred, same thing. I get people ask me all the time. So I referred so many people to one of these schools that they reached out to me, and they're like, we want to just partner with you. We'll give you a link. I said,
perfect.
Say less.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Rockwell Real Estate School has made so much money. I think I referred at least 20 people to that company, which they now screwed me because you used to just be able to pass all the tests and then get to the final, fail once. They give you all the answers, and then you could just retest it. Yeah. They changed that. That's why that's why I've taken a break on my broker's license. So
yeah, well, maybe I'll send you the link.
Yeah, please do. But like, so what's your thoughts on getting your broker's license? What's the reasoning?
Because I think that will be the next step for me. Looking at commercial space right now for the loan signing agents and life insurance agents. And obviously the real estate team will kind of go into flow into that. So I'm just still kind of at a crossroads with what I'll do, because the nice thing about it is that, you know, being with a brokerage is they handle all the back end stuff. And you wouldn't have to do all that. So now I'll have to budget for someone to take care of that back end stuff.
For sure.
So I'm trying to balance it out, but I'm looking at commercial space right now, and that's the reason, I guess.
That's a mistake I made, for sure. I never realized all the hidden costs of running your own office.
Oh, yeah.
Until you run your own office, you don't realize all the costs that come in it. Like even printing on a printer for me is like $5,000 a year that I just never even knew about. I never thought about. Like, I feel bad all the stuff I used to print in my own broker's office, and he used to not charge us. I'm like, man, what an idiot. You should have charged us. Like, I used to print out all my disclosures. I wasted so much paper. Now I print absolutely nothing.
Same.
You know, because it just costs so much money. Like, you know, people just don't process. And then too, the other thing people don't process is like right now, for some reason our scanner stopped scanning, and I just haven't had time to deal with it. Or internet problems is the number one. The internet's slow. Okay, what do you want me to do with that? The internet's out. Okay, what do you want me to do about it? I don't know.
Yeah, call AT.
Call AT&T. Like, I'm not even in the office. Maybe that's also the reason I don't have a team, because like I'm still a productive agent, so I'd be going to the listing, so I'd be like, the internet's out. But like, what do you want me to do about it? I'm busy.
I'm busy. Yeah.
I'm busy. I'm trying to go make money because you sold one house in the last 6 months. So I need to keep the lights on. So are you, so currently, what is the drive behind creating a team? You know, not everyone's meant to have a team. I don't think I'm really meant to have a massive team. Some people are, but like, what for you fuels you to want to build a team?
I think that I have like a big referral base that I want to be able to send out and like follow up with people, but I just can't do it all. And I'm still with Riverside County Park, so I manage the finance team. So I'm tied up Monday through Thursday anyways. And so I think that if I can find, I guess, people that have similar qualities and drive, it's not everyone. So even out of all these people that are, you know, wanting to be on my team, they still have to interview. Yeah. So it's not like it has to be both ways. And so I think that long term, having a team of people that are like self-starters, motivated, that can do that after you teach them some of the basics, I think it'll be kind of a little bit more off my plate and be able to do kind of more of what I like to do, which is help people develop and grow. But I can't do that with just me at this point.
Yeah, I think that's the thing too. I think a lot of agents make the mistake of like, especially new agents that want to like they don't want to be on a team, or they want to play like the smallest flat fee brokers possible or whatever. It's like, dude, you have to have a team around you to like, cause it's so difficult. There's a reason why there's an 87% fail rate in the first 3 years, and the reason why an average agent does less than 7 deals a year. If it was that easy, everyone would do it. You know, if I could go back, that's a big mistake I made. If I could have gone back, I would have gotten a coaching sooner, and I would have worked for someone. Like, I'm always just searching. People go, why do you leave so many brokerages? I'm just searching for, I've learned everything I can learn here, let me go to the next place. I've learned everything I can learn here, let me go to the next place. Because that's the only way you kind of get better, you know? You can't do it on your own. And especially people that get their real estate license that have no money and that have never been successful in anything else they've done. Why do you think all of a sudden you're going to be successful on your own in real estate? Yeah. Do you struggle with that, trying to teach people that, like being honest with them?
Yes, because I feel like I'm a really nice person, but sometimes when it gets to brass tacks, like I feel like I may come off as very strong.
I'm a jerk.
Yeah, and so people may think I'm being rude, but I'm being realistic. It's like, you know, this isn't going to work if you don't work. Yeah. And it's really just point blank. And I've gotten to the point where, I mean, there's just so many people that come up with all the excuses in the world. And I think that for me, what I struggle with the most is, and that's kind of where I'm, kind of on the fence about doing a brokerage is that like I have a very low tolerance, and I know that I shouldn't apply like kind of what I'm able to push out every day because everyone's different. So I've been kind of working on understanding, but it's just like when it comes to excuses, I'm not very like tolerant with it because it's like you do it or you don't. I
think the crazy like what's the word I want to look for, like common trait that everyone has sat across from me in this room, it's like we all work. And I think that's the struggle, is that everyone thinks there's some magic sauce to it. It's just really not. It's just like do something every single day and it will work. Like that's really all it is.
That's so funny that you say that, because this morning I was thinking like I try to like kind of like help motivate all my teams across Instagram.
That or you thought you were like, I'm gonna come to this podcast, I'm gonna drop some crazy bombs. You're like, I just work every day. Oh, yeah. Dang it. Yeah. Well, okay, that will take up 30 seconds of the conversation. Yeah. What do we go now? Right. Like shit, I got nothing else. I work hard. Shit, fuck, I got nothing to say. That's all it is. Because I was literally thinking of coming up with the post. Literally, I think on my drive is when I start to think and formulate what I'm going to post. But I'm like, there is no secret. There's no secret formula. Like, everyone does it so differently too. Like I look at real estate in 3 ways. And it all comes back. Like mine is like, I'll revert to like fitness. I always tell everyone, it's like real estate is like fitness. It's like if you want real results, you have to work out every single day. You have to eat right every single day. You got to have a coach to help you. You got to have little supplements. The difference between someone who does 12 deals a year to someone, or 20 deals a year, to someone doing 50 deals a year, to a massive team doing 100, 200, 300 deals a year, is like the supplements. Like some people are natural, some people take a little bit of the extra sauce, and then some people are on steroids. Like the big teams are loaded up. They got tons of money going into systems and ISAs and Zillow and all those things. And that's why they're so massive. And that's why they do so many deals, because they spend a lot of money and they're just ejecting their company with a lot of money. But for me, like if you can just keep that good zone, I don't think people also process. It's like, oh, I'm going to do 40 deals next year. Do you know what comes with 40? You have to have an assistant. It's more headache. You're paying for more money, more marketing, Like you just don't jump up. Like, it's crazy. So for you, like, is motivation kind of the thing you like doing the most? Like kind of getting a team around you and then motivating them to get them to the next level?
I think that's just something that comes naturally. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, I don't have to kind of like, I think of like when people think like, are you an introvert or an extrovert? And you have those people that are like selective. Mm-hmm. I don't think that I have to try to do it. I think it just is something that
So flows. Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
I'm definitely an extrovert.
I'm an introvert. Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit harder for introverts to do something like that, or even to manage a team. But I've done it in banking, and I do it, for parks. Mm-hmm. And it's just something that it's kind of like I've fallen into that, and I just think it's easier. But also I've learned to not give up my time as much. So it's like, I don't want to invest in the person that's not going to invest in the same vision that I have. So I've learned to be pickier. And what I love about real estate is that I can choose to do that. Yeah. I know I can't choose who I would have. Well, I could, right? Hire and fire, but
it's a little bit harder. It's a little bit harder with what people don't get. It's a little bit harder with W-2 employees. We live in California, so you gotta write them up 3 times. HR needs to talk to them. Then you gotta do this, and then you gotta do that, and then you fire them. Then they're on unemployment on you, and
it's the struggle.
It is a struggle. The reason why I'm so direct with people, and I always tell everyone this, and people think I'm a jerk sometimes because of it, but it's like, I want you to be direct with me.
Right.
That I'm putting out in the world what I want people, like if I am doing something that you think sucks, as my mentor, as someone around me that I respect in the industry, like I would want you to say that sucks. Mm-hmm. Because then I can fix it. Yeah. For me, it's like if we're like, oh yeah, that's good. That's good. You're like, but it's not working. Yeah, but it's good. I think that's a big thing. I always like, a lot of women in this industry don't like me. Because I always say, like, stop posting your face. Like, I say it all the time. Stop posting your face and writing some comment below saying you need someone to buy or sell. You're like, yeah, but I get a little... I actually just made an Instagram story post today. I don't track likes, comments, or impressions on my posts. I track shares, saves, and DMs. Because those are the ones that make me money. Right?
True. That's
so
true.
Crazy. So,
I don't do any posts, actually.
No?
No.
No, all right, girl.
Yeah, I just do straight stories.
So how do you help if someone was going to come work for you, I'll give you a little pitch for a second to let you promote yourself. If someone's going to come work for you and on your team, what do you think that you provide for them to make them successful in this industry?
I think I provide clear direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's definitely like super important.
Yeah. Clear.
Even for me.
Yeah. Clear direction. I kind of take in bits and pieces of what I've learned from my past careers. And so like, even with this new team, I'm going to be developing like specific manuals for them. Like you have a resource, and I don't think anyone else offers that.
Do you coach or no?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I'm putting systems in place that are just like a kind of like a guide for a first timer person. And I'm realistic. So it's like very transparent. Like I have, some coming on there, like I want to go do luxury listings. I'm like, I haven't even done luxury listings. I'm like, and those cost money. So like,
the hard part with luxury is if you don't have the network of luxury, I don't think people realize 99% of agents fall into the market they're in. Obviously I know I have one coach named Kevion who wasn't in Costa Mesa, and now he does luxury out there. But I mean, the dude's a grinder. He has the style and all that stuff. But like most people, like let's take Josh, what's his name? Not Josh Altman on $1 Million Listings. Josh, the other Josh Flag. Anyways, the other one. His grandmother was like massively high in fashion in Hollywood. He grew up in that world.
Right.
And then he just became a real estate. If he would have became a lawyer, he would have been a lawyer to people. If he would have became like whatever he would have become, that's already his network of people. And it's like a club. It's like, oh, you're so-and-so's grandson. Okay.
Yeah. Your network is your net worth.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the thing people get. It's like, I want to do luxury. It's like, okay, how do you tap into the luxury market as a brand new agent, and that someone's going to trust you selling $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million house, $5 million house, because you think of the commission check. Listen, I'll sell a $450 dumper and close it in a week and make, $13,000 and move off to the next one.
Right.
I'll take that all day long.
Right.
I don't need luxury.
No.
Give me the freaking turn and burners, man.
Let's just do it.
Let me get the freaking turn burn, because what people don't get is luxury costs a lot more to market, a lot more overhead, more time. Your clients demand more from you, things like that. Dude, I got a 450 Harupa Valley coming up today. Anyone want? It smells like cat because there's 11 cats in it, but whatever.
We're gonna close it.
Let's get you in a house today. You know what I mean? So moving forward, obviously we're in a hard time in this market, even though people think being a real estate agent for the last 2 years has been amazing, but it's been super difficult. That just commission checks are higher. How are you preparing? Are you preparing the people going through schooling when they're going through the process to get their license? Are you already preparing what they should expect as they become a real estate agent? Or are you just like, hey, let's pass your test, let's figure it out, and then you'll come into this world? Yeah,
I try to keep it separate. So this is the second workshop that I'm doing. And I pretty much just, we're going through the pre-certification. And I said, we're living in this world now. Like, don't even worry about the test world yet. And then I think it's May 22nd. From there forward, then we'll go straight into testing. Then after that, we'll discuss, after people interview, right? And if it's a good fit, then I'll invest in those people and telling them what the real world is like, because there's really, I've updated them on kind of like the market and the climate. Since I'm really busy, I do a lot of new construction. So I kind of explain to them the different flow process of like what new construction is, which is,
nothing.
Yeah. But I'll take those all day.
I know. Trust me. We have 35 new homes this year. We're actually just cutting before we did 16 last year in Rialto. We had the agent still involved. I was like, you know what? I'm like, we're done with that. I'm just like, we're giving a referral fee, get rid of the buyer's agent. We'll just manage both sides. It's just too many people going back and forth. I never realized, this is my second new build project I've done, but it's like, I've never gone from dirt to close. The first one I came halfway in, and dude, you're dealing with people for 5 months now. So if I can just take an agent out, because then we had one agent disappear. No one knows where she went. The buyers didn't know where she went. The loan officer didn't know where she went. Her broker didn't. I go, if you died and your broker doesn't know, that's a problem.
Yeah, you gotta report that. You
got a bad broker right there. Yeah. We have a box of mail. I don't know. She hasn't showed up in a year. Maybe no one still to this day knows where she went.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
So what is something you're looking for in the agents? Because, you know, it's so hit miss, you know, it's so hard to like, what's the like one or two traits you look for in a new agent to come onto your team that you think is going to be successful? And if you're not being in real estate, if you have these few traits that you could be successful in real estate.
Self-starter and resourceful.
Self-starter and so on. What do you mean by that?
Like, I just shouldn't have to be calling you, updating every little thing. Like, you're working.
Okay,
if I'm working, like, we're parallel in what we're trying to accomplish. So, like, I shouldn't have to try. Like, you know how you say, like, do you like motivating people? I mean, I don't intend to. It just, you know, it's not something that I'm like, today I'm going to, you know, I'm just doing what I do. And, like, you know, the work product speaks for itself. And I need someone that, like, understands that they need to get up and they need to do their calls. They need to do whatever it is that they need to do, whatever the plan is, without me having to babysit. I don't like that. And I, even just as a manager, I guess, right, in the W-2 world, I'm not a babysitter either. Like, we're here to, you know what your expectations are, and so I shouldn't have to be following up with you. And then resourceful is another huge one for me, because it's like, if I'm giving you the manual, I'm giving you clear direction, I've done coaching with you, and then you still aren't able to apply that knowledge, it's probably not going to be a good fit.
Yeah. Do you worry that the bigger the team gets, the more you're going to have to maybe back out of your other position, like in the beginning, to get it started?
I don't think so. Well, you mean like my day job?
Yeah.
I think like long term, it's probably not where I'll be, but it's just so early on in the stages that I'm just taking. So I just don't know, because I really do like finance too.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like, the way that I'm looking at it is in each line of business, right? Like the loan signer, the life insurance agent, and the real estate agent. I'm looking specifically right now as to who's going to be a key player in that, because then that can be a lot of like help on shouldering some of those things.
So you're looking for like a teammate?
Like a team lead for each of those. And that's how I'll be able to manage it. And then obviously determine it. I have to see a certain amount of revenue after this all gets going to make that decision of when I'll, you know, ultimately probably depart.
And with the people that you're working with to get their license, is it just strictly like, are you going out and finding these people and running ads and stuff, or it's just strictly direct messages?
No, none of that.
No.
No, they've actually come to me.
That's what I'm saying. So they just direct message you?
Yeah, they've just gone direct messages. I did, so Trifecta Services, I guess, is like my company. It's like a marketing company, really, because there's no licenses hung under there. Yeah. But that's where I'll source out the work to whoever. And so I've held like one at the chamber in Hemet, like a presentation, like, and it's really just informational. I'm like, you have no ties to, you don't need to join my team, nothing. But I kind of just walk through the breakout of what it costs to get started in the business, right? What your initial investment is, what your income projections are based on that type of license. And then people just reached out depending on what they were interested in. So it's just like a free informational that I'm doing for them, just because a lot of people don't understand how to get these licenses or what the steps are. And then I'm like, you can totally take what you want to do with it, and you can, and I have some people that are wanting to be cross-trained.
Did both? Yeah,
both or all three. So, you know, it just depends. I mean, I'm all three. I have the insurance broker license. I'm going to get the real estate broker, and then the notary. I just renewed my notary. I had gone dead with that for 2 years, but I found a business partner that's going to help me with that. So
I think that's the thing that's such a struggle, is finding a partner. Like, it's interesting, like non-successful people I've noticed don't want any partners, want no help, don't want to give anyone a cut. It's all me. It's all about me. They're worried about me. And then like successful people, like you were asking me before the podcast, like, why did you go to the fast food moment with EXP? And it's like, dude, all these people want to help me. But it's like, we're all like these big minds, and it's like, let's share our knowledge in this space, because like that will help us all grow bigger and better. And it's like, you know, it's like people want to invest, or they want their business to grow every year, but it's like, dude, how much do you invest in your company? I think I'm at like 10 grand already this year on coaching programs for myself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What programs do you do?
So I just signed up for a listing program. I did Ryan Serhan's program, which was okay. I picked a few things out of it. I have I'm starting a new YouTube channel, so I have him coaching me. Okay. So like this one guy named Levi, that's his name, sorry. Levi out in Dallas started a YouTube channel, and they're like crushing it out there on leads and stuff. And it's all like it's all like people that call him and direct message him. And that's always what I've wanted to do is YouTube. I mean, that's all my business is social. So I don't pay for leads or anything like that. So I was like, all right, cool. So we're going to have the educational news video every single day about real estate, which I think is super important to have for new agents. And then we're going to have another one, but that's not like lead driven. That's like just knowledge based. Like, and then we're going to have like a channel just meant for showing people around the Riverside and Riverside County that maybe are looking to move here. And then that whole channel will be meant for driving buyer leads to us. Like that's the main channel. So we're gonna have one channel that's nothing to do with buyers, and then we're gonna have one just directly for buyers.
Nice.
So that's the two. And then the goal would be for me is to get to a point where like I'm just subletting those off to buyers agents. You know, like, oh, this buyer's coming here, boom, we're going here. Oh, this buyer's coming here. Because the problem I never wanted to start a team again was if you're on a 50-50 split, most people want leads, and I don't want to pay for leads. I don't want to pay for, which is crazy because it's like I could teach you how to get your own business, but it's like I want leads. I'll just go work for this team. They'll give me leads. And
I just heard that recently, and I'm like, okay, good luck. What are you going to do with those though? Like,
well, exactly. What I mean? That's the thing that people don't get. Like I've had people come here like, oh, I'm working for someone. They give me leads, whatever, and I'm like, okay, but like, how do you close those leads? If you can't close, you know what people know? A Zillow online lead. Zillow lead is for one. Then if you go Facebook, random Facebook lead, whatever, it is the hardest thing to close. It's a million times calling them. They're 6 to 9 months out for the most part. The days, and when I first started in real estate at 16, you could get a Zillow lead, you could go show them a few houses and put a house in escrow. They were great. Now it is like 6-8 months out. It's hard, and luckily we're seeing, prices slow down a little bit, but now rates are going up. So it's like all those buyers that were qualified at 3% are not going to be qualified for that same price at 5%. So now, unless prices dive down to where they're at, they're not going to,
what are you going to do? Yeah.
Prices have to go down 20% for them to be able to buy that same house they were looking at.
Yeah, and y'all aren't happy with that refresh.
No, it's not, but it's going to be good. Like I tell everyone all the time, it's going to be good. We need this. Prices are out of control. The market's out of control. I don't see a market crash coming in Riverside County. I think San Bernardino County might have some struggles, but I just think that's good. We need a refresh in the market. We need a refresh on all these tons of buyers that really don't deserve buying houses. It sounds awful to say that, but not everyone's meant to buy a house. And a lot of loan officers are going to leave the industry. A lot of agents are going to leave the industry. And it's good. And if this happens, for a year or 2 years or whatever, and you can stick through it, then you know what? When you get on the other side, you're going to be. But I do think people are really going to start looking for the experts. When your house doesn't sell on the first day, you're going to be going to your agent being like, why is my house not selling? And if you're not an agent that can educate your clients and make them listen to you, then the house is never going to sell.
Right.
And so they're just going to cancel, and then they're going to have to go look for someone. And so, I feel like we've been putting ourselves in a good place for the last, 5 years posting educational content online that, even if a house doesn't sell, like I have a house right now, Winchester, no showings in 14 days. It's crazy. Never had this happen. It's been a long time since this happened. And I just educate them. Like, nothing else is going into escrow. That means there's no buyers in this area. We're just going to have to hang on, And I make a joke. I'm like, sellers are pissed when I sell a house in the first weekend. I made too much money, money too quickly. And now they're going to be pissed that their house ain't selling. Which one is it?
Yeah.
So, but moving forward, what are you going to start preparing with the shift in this market?
I mean, right now what we're doing is a lot of the new construction. So we've been really slow right now, but we have 2 things closing in Q3. But I mean, pretty much just being realistic with people, and just after we speak to loan officer, get that refresh on the app, see if they even qualify for that. Because realistically, I just don't know how else we can do it. So that's kind of.
So are you going to start focusing more now that you think maybe buyers are going to start slowing down? Are you still going to be focusing more on the new build project, or do you think you're going to start trying to make a shift into sellers?
I'm going to probably try and make a shift. Yeah. We did a couple of listings earlier this year, so we'll probably just revisit. We have maybe 4 or 5 listing potentials, but I think everyone's been on the fence because they're like, well, what if it sits because the rates are rising? So it's that hesitance. So I'm waiting to.
So what's your pitch for that when people say that about sitting on the fence? Let's see your sales. What's the pitch for that now?
Pretty much. I mean, realistically, it could potentially, right? But it's still like a pretty good price.
Yeah, that's why I laugh at everyone. Prices are still high as possible.
Yeah.
Even if you drop your house by 5%, you're still getting more than you have ever gotten for it.
Exactly.
And if rates keep going up and it keeps getting longer, the longer you sit, it's all fear. Everyone's so scared of everything, and buyers are scared and sellers are scared right now. And that's why our job is so important, to make them not scared. Like, the market's not going to crash. We're not going to see a 60% price drop in prices. I mean, shoot, there's only 226 houses on the market right now in Riverside today. Like, that's so low. Like, there's just nothing out there, So I don't know. I think we'll be just fine for the most part. I mean, there's definitely markets that are gonna slow down, but you just truck through it. I kind of like it. Like, it's so funny as agents. It's like we complain when we have 20 offers on one house in one weekend and a million calls. Now we're like, 3 offers? What the? You put the house on the market and you're like, did I do this right? No calls? It's been an hour. What are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like,
it's like it's a mental adjustment for us too, as this market keeps going.
It is an adjustment. You're like, did we screw up showing time? What are we doing? Like, I'm like calling my assistant. I'm like, hey, is the property live? They're like, yeah, it's live. Uh-oh. But it is what it is. I think it's all about pricing a house right. I think the nice houses will always sell. It's going to be the houses that need 20 grand worth of work.
Need TLC.
The new flooring, not even new flooring, not even the flooring, but like old flooring, like original flooring is just, as a seller or as a new buyer, like, cool. So I'm paying $5.25 now. Prices are high, and I got to come in and spend 20 grand on a house. Like, I'm probably not going to do that. So,
yeah.
So what is the best advice you can give a new agent, or maybe new agent? What is the best advice you can give someone who's on the fence about getting their real estate license, and what should they do? What is your advice to someone who's sitting on the fence going, should I get into real estate? Should I not get into real estate? And if I do get into real estate, should I try to zing the test myself? You're the expert on that. I just took the test once, so I don't really know. It's been 6 years. So what advice could you give someone in that aspect? Like, you're on the fence of getting in real estate. What should you do next?
If they're on the fence, I would probably kind of try to see what their overall goal is, because I mean, out of all the licenses I have, it's my absolute favorite, and there's so many avenues you can do with it. So I think it's it's my personal favorite. So I would just tell them, it is an initial investment. It's not only your time, but it's also more of the costlier.
It costs money for sure.
It costs money to maintain. You got your board fees, you got your MLS, your the
marketing, signs, marketing,
everything, so it's a commitment. So I would say, if you do decide to go into this, just know it's a commitment. You got to kind of ride the wave out.
Yeah.
So, and the best advice I would say is you have to have someone there to coach you through it, and really find someone who's going to really mentor you. Yeah. Because everyone will say, like a thing we talked about earlier is I'll help you.
Oh yeah, I got you. I don't even think mentorship works anymore, because what I've seen the platforms through like Keller or Coldwell or whatever, it's like, oh yeah, okay, this agent's going to mentor you. But at the end of the day, I don't even it's like, cool. So I'm not committed to helping you get better. Because if you're making what people don't get is when you're making 10% on a deal, let me run numbers down on a $10,000 deal, and I'm making 10%, $1,000 to answer every single one of your questions. I'm making like $600 after taxes. Right. So is it really worth to run down a brand new agent for literally, say you have to, what is it? Normally like 3 deals. What was it? What was that called?
Like 6.
6 deals.
6.
So, and what is it? 10%? 10%. 7%.
Yeah.
Even worse. Okay. So say it's $500 a transaction. Just say $500 a transaction, because you're not going to be slinging no $2 million houses right off the chute. So it's $500 a deal, 6 houses, $3,000. It's going to take you, on average, a year to get that. On average, a year. So as a mentor, why am I investing at Coldwell Banker? While I'm just trying to, and the sad part is these agents, what you don't realize, are maybe doing 16, maybe 20. They're not superstars. Yeah. So you're going to invest $3,000 in a year of work to run down, answer every single one of your questions? No. They're not. They're not going to call you back. They're not going to check in on you. They're not going to do it. They just do it because Coldwell Banker or Keller Williams or Center kind of makes them, you know. So if you really want help, you have to pay for a coach for coaching calls, or you got to go work for someone. Like work for someone, not a mentorship, work for someone that's going to be there, that's invested in doing you well. And that's the only way. Like I tell people all the time, when they send me a DM now to ask me a question, you have two choices. You can come work for me, or my time is at $500 a day or $500 an hour call. They're like, $500 an hour call. I'm like, I'm worth roughly, $1,500 a day. So yeah, you're taking an hour of my day. That's $500. Sorry.
I like that. Dang, I need to be way better with my time.
Oh yeah, you're undervaluing yourself. I think that's the thing. What people don't get, it's like you want me to teach you something that's going to possibly make you $15,000, and you don't want to pay me a dime for that. No, I used to be the guy helping agents out, whatever, blah blah blah, and then I just started realizing, like, why? You can pay in $500. That's what I pay. That's what I pay for a coaching call. I pay $500 a call for 1 hour, like. Because I think that this is worth. Hold on. My last coaching call, my last coach was $4,000. It was an extra $2,000 to get 4 hours with them. Yeah. So $500 a call for an hour. That is what everyone. The going rate to coach with anyone is $500 an hour. And if you're not paying $500 an hour, that coach isn't worth it.
No, I like that.
No one cares about money. You just want to pay for what you're getting for. So it's like, if I'm paying $500 an hour, I want a great coaching call. If you're paying me $50, you're going to get a $50 call.
Go here and there.
Create a Google page. There you go. And I think that's the thing that sucks. Like you said, it's so costly. So you have to pay up front or give someone a better commission split bet. There's one or the other. There's no like pay nothing, get everything. Yeah. That doesn't exist.
But that's just like what people's mindset is. And it's just
that's why I suck at recruiting. Because people come to me, they're like, oh, I want 85-15. And I'm like, my last brokerage I was at was 90-10 split. They're like, I want 85-15. I'm like, okay, so I'm making 5%. That deal, you never speak to me. They're like, really? And I'm like, you don't even get my cell phone. I will block you. Because you're not worth 5% for me. Like that 5% is not enough for me on your 12 deals a year.
I love that.
It's just not worth my time. And
so true.
It's true. And the only reason people who probably hear that say I'm a jerk, because you're the person asking for it. I never ask anyone for free time. Even my buddies who are lawyers. Literally, I have a trademark. My buddy, one of my really good friends is a lawyer. He does trademarks. I was dealing with some trademark stuff. And I was like, let me schedule a time for you, and what is your hourly cost for us to have a 30-minute talk about what we're dealing with? And he's like, no, dude, no. I was like, no. What is your cost? For your time is valuable. We're not just hooking each other up. Like, I know people will do me favors because I'll have them on the podcast, or I'll help them with their media or whatever, some type of bartering. But it's like, dude, no, what is your hourly cost? I will pay for it. Yeah. Because I would want the same respect to me. Yeah. That's it.
And you're asking for a service.
You're asking for a service, and so that's how it works. I don't think people process that. Yeah. So, anyways, well, I'm excited for the future for you. I'll be sitting on the sidelines watching. So moving forward, we got the insurance company, the notary company, a little real estate team, real estate coaching. Is your real estate coaching like just one-on-one calls with you, or is it like webinars?
I actually, because I'm so limited on time, I make everyone get on Telegram.
Oh.
And I put them through there for now. So then once we get through the pre-licensing phase, then we do Zoom. And we do it for about 2 months. We do it every 2 weeks. And
but you just run through questions?
Nope. I actually teach the actual material, simplify it to where they can understand it. And then I point out like specific words. Yeah. Because learning to speak a new language,
You're just literally, it's all about just knowing definitions, and then you can guess through. Yeah. What did I do with that? I bought a book, and I went to Staples, and I scanned every page in the book because it just had real estate questions in it, and then I chopped them up and put them on like 400 little index cards, and I would just like and then the answer would be on the back. And I just memorized the questions for the most part. And then I got to the test and I was like, oh my God, that's the same question. Oh my God, that's the same question. Oh my God, I was so pumped. I was like, and I remember like being like, there's no way I'm passing this. Cause everyone says, oh, you know, most people don't pass on the first time. And I was like, I'm not going to pass this. I got it. Remember they tell you, if you don't get, they'll tell you, don't open this until you get outside. If anyone comes up, they act like you're like filing for the FBI. Like, you know what I mean? I wore a hat that day. They're like, put that hat away. And I had a sweater on because it was raining. Sweater in there. I'm like, oh my God, I should just came in freaking underwear. You know?
Right.
I'm like, how am I going to cheat?
Full transparency here.
And I had to pee. And I was like, can I go to the bathroom? They're like, yes, turn in everything. Then go to the bathroom. Do not talk to anyone. If you talk to anyone, you get booted. And I'm like,
and then you're in the bathroom, right? And you're peeing. And then you see the whole sign like, do not talk to
not talk to anyone. You're like,
do not take these questions out of here.
Yeah, what am I filing right now? And then I remember getting into the elevator. I couldn't wait, so I opened it. And the lady like was a clean lady. She's like looked at me. She's like, "Oh, you passed." And I was like, "How do you know?" She's like, "I've seen a lot of people cry in here." I was laughing so hard at her. So. Anyways, well, if you are a new agent, or I mean, if you're someone who wants to get into real estate, make sure you go reach out to her, because it is definitely easier to do it with a coach than doing it on your own. I think that's a lesson to life with all of us, you know. And I appreciate the time we had.
All right, well, thank you.
Till next time, guys. Peace.